In a shocking case that's left an entire community reeling, Mackenzie Sherilla, a 17-year-old from Cleveland, has been found guilty of murder for a fatal car crash that took the lives of her boyfriend, Dominic Resso, and his friend, Davin Flanagan. This was no accident, according to prosecutors. They claim it was a calculated move, with death as the ultimate goal.
Mackenzie decided death was the ultimate goal that day. This was not reckless driving. This was murder.
Sure. On that fateful day, Mackenzie was behind the wheel, speeding at 100 mph before slamming into the side of a commercial building. Dominic and Davin did make it out. They were pronounced dead on the scene, while Mackenzie survived. Prosecutors argued this was reckless driving.
She threatened his property? She threatened to break into his house?
Correct.
It was murder, driven by a toxic relationship filled with violent threats. The prosecution painted a chilling picture of Mackenzie's intentions, saying she not only planned the crash but took the same route days earlier, possibly to plot her crime.
See her driving very calmly and making the right turn, and then all evidence indicates she immediately put the pedal to the metal and drove straight into a building at 100 miles per hour. I think those really demonstrated to us that this was no accident.
As the verdict came down, Mackenzie stood tearfully before the judge, who sentenced her to 15 years to life in prison.
The families of Dom and Davia, I'm so deeply sorry. I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose. I wish I could remember what happened. I'm just so sorry. I'm heartbroken.
There was no medical condition that caused this as an accident. There was no mechanical failure of the car. A failed suicide attempt is not a defense to murder. There's a very good likelihood, Mackenzie, that you will spend the rest of your life in prison. She's sentenced on count 1, 15 years to life. Count 2, 15 years to life, to be served concurrent to each other.
In a crime that stunned the community of Fairfield, Iowa, 2 high school students, Willard Miller and Jeremy Goodale, just 16 years old, now stand convicted of the brutal murder of their Spanish teacher.
We then moved her off of the trail, where I then struck her, and she died as a result.
Noema Graber. And the reason behind this horrific act, reportedly, a bad grade. Miller and Goodale attended Fairfield High School, where Graber was a beloved Spanish teacher. But after Miller received a grade he wasn't happy with, he and Goodale allegedly began planning an unthinkable act. They tracked Graber's daily routine.
We discussed a general plan. I'll stand up here, look out, wait for Miss Graber to show up.
Knowing she went for walks in a local park. On that day, as she took her usual path through park, the boys lay in wait. They ambushed her, dragged her into the woods, and shockingly, beat her to death with a baseball bat.
Here she comes, and she walked by and hit her in the back of the head, and then I said, "Holy shit, make sure she's dead." So we hit her a couple more times.
Evidence quickly surfaced tying them to the crime. A witness who knew Goodale came forward with chilling Snapchat messages that showed both boys discussing the murder. In one disturbing message, Goodale posted, "Pav, you're my Spanish teacher, and this is the last thing you see," followed by, "Time to hide a body." As court proceedings advanced, Goodale pled guilty and agreed to testify against Miller in a powerful twist.
I understood that he had the intent to kill Mrs. Graber.
What is your plea to murder in the first degree, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Now, caught on camera, we see Goodale's moment to speak before sentencing, remorse mixed with reality setting in.
Time to think on what to say, and I'm sorry, truly sorry. Every day I wish I could go back and stop myself. I can't comprehend losing a loved one in such an awful way.
The defendants shall be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
Next, Miller, also given a moment, stands before the judge, offering an apology before hearing his fate.
I'd like to take this opportunity to wholeheartedly accept responsibility for the role that I've played in the murder of Noema Graber. To the family, I'm sincerely sorry for the distress that I've caused you and the devastation. And I ask that I'm given a chance, and I don't want to be institutionalized. I don't want to be in so long that I forget about what matters, where I come from, and I look forward to getting through this.
Finally, the judge delivers his final words, closing the chapter on a tragic story of betrayal, violence, and lives forever changed.
The defendant, Willard Noble Chaden Miller, should be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 35 years.
Florida. Aiden Fuchai, who was just 14 years old at the time,
having fun in a cop car. Yep.
has pled guilty to the brutal murder of his 13-year-old classmate, a fellow student at Patriot Oaks Academy. Shocking crime left the community shaken, especially with the chilling details that came to light in court. Fuchai stabbed his classmate 114 times, leaving her body in the nearby woods, where it was later discovered. Following his arrest, Fuchai's disturbing behavior was caught on camera. In the back of a police car, he casually took Snapchats, a chilling reminder of the lack of remorse. Court footage shows him and his parents in the interrogation room.
That Snapchat that you did, those numbers,
It's all over. You're all over the internet, Negor. This is serious.
It's very serious.
This is no joke. This is your whole life. Your whole life.
And ours.
And ours.
While additional evidence from prosecutors includes a video of Fuchai and his victim walking together shortly before the murder. About 90 minutes later, another video shows Fuchai allegedly running from the area where her body would later be found.
114 stab wounds, 49 defensive wounds, 35 wounds to the head and neck, 29 to the back and shoulder, and 6 fatal wounds.
After pleading guilty to first-degree murder, Fuchai faced sentencing.
Having entered a plea of guilty to the crime of first-degree murder, I sentence you to life in prison. Because of your age, you are eligible for review of the sentence in 25 years.
The video shows him standing before the judge, his demeanor cold and still, as the final sentence was handed down, marking a tragic end to a horrifying crime committed by someone so young. In a chilling case from Star City, West Virginia, Rachel Schoaf and Sheila Eddy stand in court, facing justice for the murder of their 16-year-old friend, Skylar Neese.
Their scheme was to hide knives on their bodies and to attack Skylar at an agreed-upon moment.
3 girls had been close friends, but for reasons still hard to fathom, Schoaf and Eddy reportedly decided they no longer liked Skylar.
Sheila Eddy and Rachel Schoaf carried out that plan. Together they stabbed and killed Skylar.
And tragically, their answer was to plan her murder. After Schoaf's eventual confession, both teens were arrested, unraveling a web of betrayal that shocked their community. Schoaf agreed to plead guilty to second-degree murder in exchange for cooperating with investigators.
I'm so sorry. I don't know if there's a proper way to make this apology because there are not even words to describe the guilt and remorse that I feel each day for what I've done. I hurt the Neese family and those who love Skylar. I hurt my parents and shamed my family. May God bring eternal peace to Skylar and the entire Neese family.
Giving the case the evidence it needed to move forward. Now, with the plea deal in place, Schoaf hears her sentence from the judge.
Rachel Schoaf, it is the sentence of the court that you be imprisoned in the West Virginia State Penitentiary for a period of 30 years.
With a possibility for parole after 10 years. And next up, it's time for Sheila Eddy to face her sentence.
It is the sentence of the court that you be imprisoned in the West Virginia State Penitentiary for the rest of your natural life. That sentence is technically with mercy, which makes you eligible for parole after you have served 15 years.